All right, we got a unit test Monday. Multiple choice. Tuesday is the FRQ. It's only on the chapters you've read already, 31 and 32. So there's no new reading. There is going to be some new learning because there's things in the chapter that you pretty much don't really get that much out of. So I'll go over. All right. If you want to take your phone out and take a picture, here's the breakdown of the test. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's easy, hard. I'll check it.
You have last year's number?
I'll check it. This quiz, the numbers were one of the highest of any quiz you guys took all year. All right, today we're going to discuss nominal versus real wages. I'm going to try to get you to understand the marginal propensity to save and consume and how that affects the money multiplier, which is how government decides how much to spend or not spend on tax or not tax. And that's probably where we'll get today because we have a shot of school today. All right, this is like the first blank in your notes, right? Nominal wages.
Yeah.
All right. Graph this on my phone. All right. If nominal wages at 1 is 100. If I go from 1 to 2, right, from point 1 to point 2, will nominal wages increase, decrease, or stay the same? One person? Two? Yes, sir.
Would it increase because AD increased?
Okay, so you're going with increase with AD. Jonathan?
Increase.
You're going with increase. Josh? Think.
Take it.
I didn't want you to just say what those two said, just because they said.
I think they're correct.
You think they're correct? Antonio? Okay, Antonio, at 2, are we in the short or long run? We're in the short run. Antonio, could you explain to me what the short run is? All right, that is graphically, but what is, you're right. What is the short run? Do you remember? Think, Antonio, think. Blackboard has something on it. Did you get that? No.
Yeah,
Like it's hard to get your fingers off. Ah,
oh yeah.
so what is sticky? Besides the blackboard, what? What in the short run? Wages and resources. Now, Antonio, continue to think. This is good. If wages are sticky, are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? So they're going to be 100 here? Is that what you said? So nominal wages do not change. Because of what Antonio just said, wages are sticky, meaning they don't change until you renegotiate wages in the long run. Neil. Dimitri, you got your A game?
I'm there.
Okay. Dimitri, nominal wages stay the same. Are real wages going to increase, decrease, or stay the same?
Real wages or increase?
What are real wages?
Aren't they measured up to like after inflation? Or is that-
So purchasing power?
Yeah,
Okay. So Dimitri, where do you think my $100 is going to purchase more? At P1 or P2?
P2.
Okay.
Wait,
Go. At P1, let's just put prices in. Dimitri, if something costs $10, how many can I buy at P1? If I'm making 100.
we're taking 100 to buy 10. And
At P5? Up here,
then
rather?
5, you can only buy 5. So, yeah, so
So what happened to real wages?
they decrease.
They decrease. All right, so while nominal wages are sticky and they stay the same, real wages decrease because price levels went up. All right. Josh, not that like you're just here because you lost learning. Kind of a tricky thing they could put on an FRQ or something.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wait. So
go.
how will we know if real wages are the same? If we can't like know with it.
If price levels go up and nominal, if you're making $100 in both spots, price levels go up, your real has to go down. You don't know what it's going to be, but you know it's less.
Okay.
But like say we went here and we went from 1 to 2 this way. Nominal wages would stay the same, right? 100 in each spot. But here, under the price level, now real wages would increase because things are cheaper and I'm making the same amount of money.
Okay.
Okay? Anyone else? How's baseball practice going, Max? Good. Okay. Huh?
Still in the right spot.
Yeah, they look like they're feuding. All right. All right. Now let us look at fiscal policy, try to determine how much the government should spend. All right. So I'm gonna put this up. First thing I'm gonna ask is Dom, what type of gap do I have there?
Recessionary.
Recessionary. Now, there are 2 types, Brooks, of fiscal policy I could use. Because I want to close the recessionary gap. Do you remember one of the 2? Yeah, but what type of like more specific? What could government do? I am sure in this year you've helped Andrew out, so I'll let Andrew help you out. Now, Andrew, if they decrease government spending they decrease government spending, where's AD going to go? Do we want it left? So you want to do what? Increase government spending or
Decrease taxes.
decrease tax. So fiscal policy is only 2 things. And by the way, there's 8 questions on. It's decrease taxes or increase government spending there. It's taxes and government spending. You know, increase government spending, Josh, shifts what curve which way?
Government spending just AB to the right.
There. Now, here's the question, AB. How much? How much should government increase their spending?
It depends based off the multiplier and route or crowding out.
So you're saying right now you can't determine that with what I've given you. You were right the first time. You really can't. If you increase it, say, AB, if I gave you $100 right now, what would you do with it? Okay, on like what? On food? All right, so AB is spending it on food. The people who are now making that 100 from AB, what are they going to do? they're gonna spend it on something else. So that money kind of multiplies. If government increased by 100 billion, I just want to show you where aggregate demand would end up. All the way over here, we have huge inflation, all right? So we're gonna start to get to it today, more tomorrow. How do you know, and Cameron hit on it with the multiplier, how do you know how much? The first thing is, we got to figure out, how much of that 100 are you going to spend? Because some people might only spend a little. We kind of did this, so you don't need this. Okay. So the first thing is the marginal propensity to consume. All right. And that is when I give AB $100, how much of that 100 is he going to spend? Okay. So if I gave AB 100 and he spends 80, the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8, 80 over 100, which is 0.8. Okay. Now, if you're not good with fractions, it's not going to matter because you're going to have a calculator, right? So the marginal propensity to consume is change in consumption over change in disposable income. Antonio, if you don't consume, what's your only other option? Well, save, right? So you can only consume and save. Those are the only two things you can do.
So in other words, it's just like how much given, or no, it would be how much spent over like how much given, or is it always like?
I mean, spend isn't a bad one. Given changing the money you have.
When they ask us to do this, are they always gonna like refer to like people like giving someone money and then?
No, it could be a raise, it could be different things.
Oh, like so you get a raise and then how much they spent?
Yeah.
Raise?
Yeah. All right. So Max, if you received 100 and spent 50, what would your marginal propensity to consume be? And if you're not good with fractions, just give me like what over what. Other way. 50 over, so 0.5, 50 over 100. Okay. Andrew, if you received 100 and you spent 80, 0.8. Okay. Patrick, if you received 100 and spent 100, 1. Okay. It can be if you're in debt. Yeah. But you don't like. All right. Now, the marginal propensity to save is kind of the same thing. How much is KB going to save of that 100 I gave him? Okay. In a decimal. Same formula, except now I'm putting savings on top. All right. AB, marginal propensity to save is going to be what? 0.5. Hayden, if you receive $100 and your marginal propensity to consume, Hayden, if your marginal propensity to consume is 0.7, what do you think your marginal propensity to save is going to be? No, that's to consume. 30. Yeah. How you doing with breakfast? Do they call this excused?
Oh, probably not.
Splash crap.
Yeah,
Okay, just sit down. All right, so because you can either consume or save, your marginal propensity to save plus your marginal propensity to consume equals 1. All right, and Hayden did that for us, right? The marginal propensity to save was 0.7, which was 70 out of 100. Rather, the marginal propensity to consume is 0.7. And he then said the marginal propensity to save is 0.3. Okay. Any questions on consumption and savings? Now, this is going to help us figure out the multiplier, because when Josh gets $100, we're going to figure out how much of that is he going to save or spend. If he saves it all, it hurts the multiplier. Okay, but first we'll have a quick multiple choice. We'll call on Spiro just to embarrass him. All right, a high marginal propensity to consume implies which of the following? Ryan, what do you got for this? Max? E? Baseball players agree, they agree. It is. All right. Now, how does this help determine the multiplier effect? Here we go. Here is the spending multiplier. 1 over NPS or 1 over 1 minus NPC. You could use either formula. Okay. Now, KB, if the multiplier is 4 and government spends 5, how much is GDP could increase?
The MPC is 4.
No. The multiplier is 4.
The multiplier is 4. And then, so 4 equals, I don't know.
Don't think that hard.
Okay.
If the multiplier is 4 and we're spending 5, how much is GDP could increase?
1.
Huh? How could you look at these two numbers and come up with 1?
Because 5 minutes more.
Oh, okay, that's fair. John, it's going to be 20. Okay. And here is the formula you could use. Total change in GDP is multiplier, which was 4, times the initial spending, which is 5. Right. That, I'll give you 1 second. That formula you're going to use a lot. So Max, put in your photographic memory. Right.
So with that, like top one where it says if MPC is 0.5, when the spending multiplier be the same for both one?
Yeah, they're the same formula.
Well, I know I'm saying with that number specifically, when that because MPS is also 0.5 then?
Yeah. So it's gonna be 2 and 2, right?
For the second one of that is the GDP as referring to the column above. What would be 20?
Yeah. All right. So how much will it decrease then, John? Of if spending decreases by 3.
So it's the multiplier, so 4 times -3, right?
Right.
That would just be -12.
-12. So GDP would decrease by 12. Okay. Good job, John. All right. Now, Spiro, what is the? Oh no, forget it. Because you aren't here for everything, so I don't want to.
I mean,
Could you figure out what is the multiplier? Yeah, you could.
if MPC is 0.9, what is the multiplier to be 1 over 0.9? And then,
No, 1 over 1 minus 0.9.
oh, right, MPC, right, so 1 over 1 minus 0.9, that would be 1 over 0.1, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
which is 10. And you have a calculator, so you'll be fine for that. Hunter, if the MPC is 0.8,
so that would be 1 over 1 minus 0.8,
which is 1 over,
1 over 0.2.
and that's 5. And again, you have, I feel good because you have. Dimitri, if the MPC is 0.5 what will be the multiplier?
It would be, that's 100.4.
No, it's 0.5, sorry.
Oh, if it is.
Yeah. So what would the multiplier be?
It's 100.5.
Which is? I could do that if you're not good with it. You're gonna have a calculator, so I'm not worried about it. It's 2. If the multiplier is 2, Dimitri, how much will GDP increase?
So if it increased by 2, oh, it would increase by half, it increased by.
Look at your formula that I gave you before. Plug everything in. What's the multiplier?
2.
And what's the change in,
So it's 4.
right, okay?
Oh, it's 3.
So we got, so 1/1 minus MPC, that would be, 2.
Yes,
Okay, and then we did
2 times 2. Okay? All right, now. Simon, if the MPC is 0, what is the money multiplier gonna be?
1.
1. Simon, if the money multiplier is 1 and investment increases by 2 million, how much will GDP increase?
2 million.
2 million, right? 1 times 2. Any questions so far? Okay. Says the marginal propensity to consume falls, the multiplier lessens. Okay. Because people are spending less, so that hurts the multiplier. Yes, sir.
What if the MPC is 1?
If the MPC is 1, right, you have 1 yeah, we're in trouble if we're not saving a penny. Yeah, it's infinite, the money multiplier. Okay,
It would just assume that we can have to do 1.
yeah. Usually both of them don't get there. All right. Cameron, how big? This is what we initially started, I think. How big is this gap? Okay, it says billions, but that's on the bottom. That's okay. So 500. All right. Now, Dom, if the MPC is 0.8, what is the money multiplier going to be?
5.
All right. So the money multiplier is 5, right, Dom? How much do I want to change the GDP? Isn't it 500?
Oh, yeah, 500.
So if I put in, I want to change the GDP by 500 equals the multiplier times the initial change, that would be X here. So I'm going to get 5X equals 500. I got to put 100, government has to spend 100 to close a $500 million gap. All right. Any questions? I fill out your slips. We'll do more tomorrow. So if you're nervous about it, we'll get more practice tomorrow.
Wait, I don't feel like that. I mean, I don't know that.